Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are going to be jumping down into NEAR to see what's been going on most recently with the price action and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. Go ahead, check it out. It's completely free. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find. Let's jump right down into this, right? So NEAR paired up with USDT. We're on the hourly chart, and Binance is our data source. And obviously, we've seen a lot of volatility right recently, and a lot of this is down to Bitcoin. But we have got a good bounce coming here, and we're moving on up. And I'm going to kind of just walk you through what's going on with the short time frames and what I think is going to happen next here. Okay, so. Essentially what we've got is some really interesting kind of structure appearing. So we had 5 waves come up here, right? And then we started to see what I can only articulate as a 3-wave move here. But I don't think necessarily it's actually over. So let me just kind of show you what I think. So essentially it looks like we have some kind of expanding flat right in here. Okay, some kind of ABC where we actually come up higher than the origin position. And then we go up higher again, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove some of this, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab a trend line. And I'm going to just draw this on here, and I'm just going to reposition that a little bit. So you get the idea, right? We're expanding out here, but we're also expanding out in this direction as well. Okay, so essentially what we're doing here is we've got a lot of these kind of complicated moves that are going on inside, but as we kind of are progressing with this, we're expanding out. We have got a brief target at the top there, and I want to talk about that maybe in a bit, but essentially what we've got is this kind of complicated wedge that we were in here. We pulled back down. We were technically impulsive on this move, but this actually then invalidated the impulsive move down, making that just a really long extended C wave, which is really interesting. Now, of course, we could move this around and make it look prettier or whatever, but essentially that is what's going on here. We basically have an ABC again. So ABC here, there's 5 waves comes up, so 3 5 3, and then we are in this move. Now, this could be marking the end of what we would expect to see, because essentially what you have is A, B, C, 3 waves, okay, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, so 3, 5, 3, and a 3, 5, 3, 5, sorry, a 3, 5, 3, if I can get my words out today, is a correction type. So essentially what you've got there is it's basically just a zigzag pattern that's appeared here, and something that we could basically look to kind of chalk up as a completed move. Now, alternatively, we are still in a corrective move, okay, and this is not yet complete. So again, there's a couple of different ways to kind of look at it, but for the most part, until we kind of see this low get broken, I'm inclined to say that actually that might be done, and we might be over with this correction for NEAR. We did come down a little bit lower than I was expecting us to come down to yesterday. I mean, I was thinking this area here was going to be the area that would hold, but this wick kind of just pulled us down a little bit too low, which is, it's fine. These things can happen. Crypto wicking us down to these crazy low areas, and this was $15.07.8. 07.8, okay, so $15.07.8. That was the low point there. Now we started to move on up nicely, and we need to do some measurements on this, because what I want to see here is an impulsive move up, and we need to check that. So essentially, we've got this move up, we pull back down. So I'm going to take this as our wave 1, and then I'm going to move it over to that low point just there. Okay, so our impulsive trigger comes in at $18.13.9 to kind of see that one in. Now, that looks difficult enough, but we'll have to see how that goes, because as I say, we are overbought on our stochastic RSI here on the hourly chart. So we should not necessarily be thinking, we're going straight to the moon here. Instead, we should be thinking there's going to be kind of short-term corrective move that's going to have to happen here in order to allow us to continue the move to the upside. Now, the 4-hourly chart is already oversold. The 8-hourly chart is almost oversold. and the daily does actually need to see a bit of a deeper correction. So and the weekly's actually got some progression to go. So essentially, I think there's more chance for upward move than downward move, but do expect some volatility as we kind of correct things here and there on this journey. So for the most part, this is going to be the target that we look for, $18.13.9. That's going to be the impulsive trigger. Failing that, we've actually going to be looking at the $17.20. That's the 1-to-1 ratio. We've actually come very close to that. So we could be now naturally looking for some kind of ABC correction or some kind of a medium kind of fourth wave correction inside here. So if we were to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up here, then maybe some kind of correction, and then again another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just getting us up into this range here is also another scenario that we should be potentially looking at for. So expect some volatility with near, but it does look like we are finally maybe out of this correction. I say only maybe because this hourly stochastic and the daily stochastic might take us down lower again. As I said at the beginning, right, we've got this expanding move. Now, I would expect us to move up towards the upper end of this expansion, but it is possible at the same time that we still have this correction pull us back down again, because if we look at it from a slightly different perspective or through a different lens, essentially if I were to remove this and maybe this wedge isn't what I thought it was to start with, it's possible that this is A, this is B, and there's still this deeper correction still to come, right? And so therefore we should be looking at it from both angles here. We will look at which ones are more probable, in my opinion, with the 4-hourly and 8-hourly stochastics. They are indicating that we need to move up, at least on that kind of short to medium term, whereas the daily is looking like we need to pull back down. The weekly is looking pretty good on the long term. We're not looking for any major corrections just yet. So in essence, I'm trying to kind of say here is I think it's more probable that we push up than come down lower right now, but at the same time this is crypto and we should be open to many other concepts, and there is a wave count that could be illustrated here to say that there is some downward potential here, and we should basically acknowledge it. Now if we were to take a look at this from a slightly different perspective as well, let me just remove some of these. We'll just get rid of that there. So if I were to measure this move from here to here and then move this to that point, this is our impulsive trigger point, but it got broken. So again, even that's not 5 waves. So essentially, I'm pretty confident that there'll be some kind of volatility here, some kind of move up, but I'm not looking for us to come back down. Ideally, we don't want to lose this high point here, and I'll just give you a number. That's going to be $16.43.5. If we can stay above that, then we're still in the structure that would be required to hit that. So the structure that is still valid to hit 1.618 at $18.13.9. If we were to lose that and we go down lower than $16.43.5, then essentially that breaks the structure and we are not impulsive anyway. So we want to watch out for a few of these things essentially. And the other option, of course, still looking for an upward directional move is that's we come back and then we move up again. Okay, and if that's the case, we are still in a pretty reasonable spot for upward move, but it's not an impulsive move. And again, this is just being an approximate area. You can kind of see that we're pushing up into that upper area. None of that is accurate, of course, because I wasn't doing any kind of measurements. We don't know where B wave's going to go and all that kind of good stuff. But essentially, there's an ABC move that could take us up higher as well. But do expect the volatility in the shorter time frame. I guess what I'm trying to say here, guys, is right now with this amount of volatility in the space, there are multiple different scenarios, and we have to go with what I think is the most, or at least I have to go with what I think is the most probable. In my opinion, the most probable move is upwards. Okay, I would like to see it impulsive, but I think if I'm being brutally honest at this point, I think we're more than likely just going to see ABC up, and we should be open to the idea that they're going to come back down before we get that final surge, and then obviously we'll pull back down again. And I think the structure of this expanding flat correction is potentially something that we're going to continue to see until we get that impulsive break to the upside. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.